Chapter 6, Entering the Demonic Academy, Part 3, Cheon Yeowun was able to see the 1,000 children standing in front of him. He wasn't late, but he was told that his tag was missing and had to wait until the end. So, even with the black tag, he couldn't go up to the front. It was certain that it was the work of someone from the 6 clans, but it didn't matter to him. It's best I avoid trouble with them from the beginning anyway. Cheon Yeowun liked that. They wanted to kill him even before joining the academy, so it was better to not see them at all. He was determined to become stronger than anyone else. There were so many. It was going to be hard to get to the front like this. Hey, a black number 7 name tag. That guy is also an heir candidate that's not from the 6 clans, right? Rumor has it that he hasn't mastered any martial arts. Then wouldn't he be the first to fail? Yeowun didn't hear what they were all saying, but he could still guess. He just simply ignored them. Hameng swept his glance across everyone, but he couldn't find the one he was looking for. There was one boy who was getting all the attention from the higher ranks of the demonic cult. Oh, there he is. Hameng finally found the boy. He would not have found him if he didn't have a black tag. At the entrance, at the very end of the line, Cheon Yeowun stood there alone. The heir candidate, not from the 6 clans. He was still a son of the Lord, but he couldn't come up to the front, and it also seemed like the other kids around him were shunning him. Therefore, he stood there alone. He's receiving attention in an interesting way. That was the end of the interest. Hameng knew that the boy did not train in martial arts, so he was going to fail the entrance test. Suddenly, the horn sound blared across the field, and people began to mumble. It was due to the person who had just entered. 1,000 boys and girls began to chant with shouts. From the hall, 3 men appeared. A man with the character Sky on his black silk clothes got up and sat down on the throne up on the stage. It was the Lord, and one of the 5 strongs of Murim, Cheon Yeowun. Even without his title, his presence was overwhelming, even in front of 1,000 people. I can't even look at him directly. The boys had lost the courage to even look up to him. Next to the Lord was the lead guardian, Great Guardian King Marakium. He had a special mask on his face so that no one knew what he really looked like. Oops. And to the right of the throne was a ragged-clothed man who seemed to be having a hard time standing up, as if he were drunk. He was the Right Guardian, also known as the Crazy Blade. He acted silly, but he was still ranked within the top 10 strong men in the demonic cult. Ha! What are you looking at? Submeng spat at Hameng, who looked at him with a disgusted look, and took a sip from his bottle of liquor. Seeing both of them arguing, the Great Guardian gave a cold look and said, "Quiet." Marakium then walked onto the stage and shouted, "Silence!" It was a voice laced with internal energy that spread through to everyone. The training ground went silent at once. The most honorable one, it is ready. Marakium turned back and spoke quietly, and Lord Jong got up from his throne. To all who have entered the academy, you will be the future of our cult. And unlike Marakium who shouted, the Lord spoke softly. However, his voice was crystal clear in the ears of the 1,000 boys and girls. It was proof of Cheon Yeowun's absolute power. I welcome you in joining the academy. I hope you train and play your part in our cult. And that was it. Cheon Yeowun turned, and Great Guardian Marakium spoke to him. That was a wonderful speech. The Lord then walked off the stage with Marakium guiding him. It was so short that it made the students fall silent. But soon, they shouted and chanted, "All students, for the demonic cult!" The Lord had found Cheon Yeowun standing in the farthest part of the training ground as soon as he got up on the stage. But his gaze was so cold. Cheon Yeowun wasn't sure how he felt. He had never seen his father for 15 years, but when he met him for the first time, he showed such a cold glance. I didn't expect anything anyway. He didn't appear when his mother, Lady Hua, died. There was no disappointment when he didn't care in the first place. That's when people fell silent again, as Fire King stood up on the stage. With Lord's speech, we will begin now. Stand straight. Hameng's voice pierced through the air and the students shut up. I'll keep it simple, listen up. Hameng began to explain the system of the demonic academy. The academy will last for 4 years and 6 stages. Everyone knew the academy lasted for 4 years. But there were some who had teachers or parents who did not attend the academy, so they began to focus on the tests on each of the 6 stages. You can take the 6 stages in steps, and you can take it only once. Students began to mumble about only getting 1 shot at each stage. 1 failure meant that they would be cast out. You seem to get it pretty quickly. If you do not pass, you will be expelled right away. There was only 1 chance to rise up. That's when a handsome boy standing in the front row raised his hand. It was the boy with number 2 on his tag. In second place for the throne of the Sword Clan. Ha-meng was in the middle of his speech, but Cheon Yeowun confidently interrupted him. However, who said you could ask questions? What? Cheon Yeowun's handsome face grimaced. He had been treated with respect from everyone around him because he was a prince, but it was shocking to be treated with hostility. Oh, so you have a problem with my attitude? Prince? You want to be expelled even before the competition? Left Guardian spat angrily. Cheon Yeowun was angered, but he couldn't say anything. He was reminded of what his guard warned him about the other day. Once you're in the academy, every privilege you had for being the son of the Lord will be removed. And whoever is appointed as the chief of the academy never crosses lines. He didn't mind it when he heard it, but he now realized it after experiencing it. He was against one of the strongest in the demonic cult. I apologize, sir. The other 5 heirs smirked. The training ground went quiet after Cheon Yeowun's embarrassing moment. I know what your question is. You think just 1 chance is too harsh? There will be special privileges given to those who move forward into the next stage. Everyone became intrigued. Those who stayed in the academy longer came out with more powerful prowess and higher titles. The first privilege is medicine. You will be given a medicine ball called the Black Dragon Ball. This is given each time you overcome the challenge. This ball was created within the demonic cult. It wasn't as good as the one created in Sorum, but it was still good enough that the person who consumed it would gain 20 years worth of internal energy. In simple math, passing the 6 tests would give the person 120 years worth of internal energy. Of course, this was also the kind of medicine that would build immunity after continued use, but it was still a good privilege. 6 stages, huh? Cheon Yeowun also seemed interested. He had no internal energy right now, but if he were to pass all 6 tests, he would be given the chance to increase his internal energy instantly. The second will be the books to the martial arts secrets. If you are martial artists, you all should know the importance of such books. This was one of the most important privileges in the academy. There were many books within the academy, and even the books from the 6 clans' martial arts were stored within the academy. Books. This was what Yeowun needed the most. With the Nano machine's power, he was able to learn the dagger skill, but he needed to get stronger. The library has 5 floors. The higher the floor, the stronger the books. You will be given access to a higher floor once you go up the stages. The 5th floor, which was the last floor, was full of secrets to various martial arts manuals of Wulin itself. However, most of you won't make it to the 5th floor, even if you were resurrected, so don't even get your hopes up.